Hello, excuse me. Try again. Hello, everybody. It's Adge with part 3 of our free play set in the Northwest. Sorry, in the Midwest. Do apologise. In episode 2, we laid some more tracks, hooked up some more businesses, a couple more cities, started making big profits, and at the end there, we started to swallow up Don Lorenzo's company, with the aim that once we acquire his stations and tracks, then all these businesses that he's connected up here will, count towards our own personal goal, our own target. Hopefully that works. I think it should do. So, yeah, I think we had about 64% of his company at last check. We've got 2.1 million spare in the bank, so I think it's a good idea to both increase our bonds. Each time we do this, we're making about 100,000, which isn't a lot, but it helps. I will get that definitely, because I want to buy some industries up after I've bought these two competitors. So yeah, it was 64%. Let's go ahead and get a chunk more of that. Say 20%, pushes to 84. We'll be left with around about 2.6, 2.7 million if we want to merge outright. You can do whatever you like, because, I own most of your business, so good work. So right now it's just a case of waiting around, which I appreciate is not the most entertaining thing to watch. But the strategy that I'm currently pursuing, I think, if it works and doesn't make me look like an idiot at the end, is the best way forward. Let's check that accountant out. Yep, cheaper auctions again. That'll be useful when we start buying up businesses at the end. Toledo is growing massively, 153,000. Grand Rapids is growing pretty well, to be fair, as well. Although I'm not sure why they put a sawmill with no logs nearby, but they did. So 1.3 million, let's see how much of a chunk that gets us in Don Lorenzo's business. We could say take 10, 11, I'll get 11, that takes us to 95, leaving us just under 800k to merge them together, which we will get in no time. So Louisville is growing as well. Indianapolis isn't growing at the moment, but it has grown substantially. I think. I can't remember how big it was when we started. Nothing I want to unlock just yet. Getting close to the magic number to be able to buy out Don Lorenzo. There we go. So I don't want to liquidate his tracks just yet. What I want to do is, yes indeed, it did count, because we had 16 before, we've jumped to 22. What's he bidding on? Do you know what, he can have that, because I'm just gonna buy him out anyway, which will give me that business. So what I'm gonna do now is get rid of that. Also get rid of it on the other side, so nothing comes in on the from the other direction to cause us problems. And I want to just I don't want to do that, that's for sure. Straight there. Jump here. I want to just start heading south a ways a little. That clears Rock Island. I'll go ahead and do that for the 0% incline. And what's empty? That one. 1.1 million to stretch from east to west. It's not too bad. Especially when you consider we literally just pretty much went for it. Put some signals in. And a bunch of towers. And then, do we have a spy available? I should think we do from him. Oh, we'll get that. No, we don't have a spy. But we do have a saboteur. And we'll go ahead and just sabotage him for the laugh. And also because it'll reduce his company's stock price. And while waiting for that to come through, we shall pay off these bonds, issue them again. Not that one, that one. And then start eating away at Doc's company.
Another satisfied investor.
Now, the fastest train we have is this one at 21. There's 23, 26, 24, 31, and I think that one. So I want to start heading towards that train. So the best way to get there is to unlock the Dunham at 300, and then that, and then that, I think. Yes. So that's what I'm going to do. In the meantime, let's go ahead and help ourselves to another 10% of his company. What task was that? Oh yeah, the 32% of the shares. Oh, I completely forgot to start this. Hopefully, express line. So, I don't think it's gonna be classed as an express line yet, because I'm almost certain he'll have a faster train than me. That's fine. Soon he won't. So we just need to build up some money. So that's no thank you. Just under 900k. Let's open the stock market page and we'll take another 10 when we get the money, 1.1. So 1.16, there we go.
Really do without a hostile takeover. Go find someone else.
Okay, so that's 3 stars. So we'll get the Dunham. And then we want to get the G&M. And then the reindeer. But in the meantime, we'll swap this train for the Dunham because it's faster. Now it's still not recognised as an express line, unless it has to go from point to point in its entirety. So we'll let it do that and see if it ticks off this target. Okay, let's return to our stock market, help ourselves to 5%, which takes us to 50. So we're now equal partnership. Of course that doesn't make a difference in this, you know, we don't get paid dividends from our stocks or anything, but we're halfway there. What's our quarterly profit just out of interest? Yeah, 2.1 million per quarter, lovely. And to merge with him at this point would cost 7. So if we wait 12 months, then we should be able to buy him outright. Okay, our station train has just returned home to Toledo. And evidently it is not an express train yet. But that engineer has boosted his speed to 30 miles per hour in conjunction with the stoker. So fingers crossed that'll might put us over the threshold. Oh, that's the wrong page. I want to go back to the stock market. So I'll get 15% for just over 1.8 million. There we go. Who's that? A security guard? No, thank you. Where's our train? There he is. It's 30 miles an hour. Unfortunately, there's no way to see, I don't think. No, there's no way to see what the fastest train is currently, you know, performing a route. So all we can do is just wait until we unlock a faster train in general.
What's big, made of metal, has lots of wheels and goes choo choo.
So the Jervis is 1 mile an hour faster. But, you know, if that doesn't do it, then we're going to have to save another 200 plus 300 for that. So I think we're better off just heading the way we're looking at. Because now, once we get 300 points, we can get that reindeer. And I'm pretty certain that will push us over the threshold for classing this run as an express connection. But we'll see. Go and sabotage him again. Hopefully again that will reduce this share price.
If you don't understand it, you're just gonna break it or what?
There we go, so that's now gone through. So that'll take us to 80%, and to merge from here we just need 3.2 million. So he's still not being classed as a express train.
Competition is the driving force behind it.
Let's just analyze the route. Oh, there we go. There is quite a change in elevation. Go from 21 feet to 58 foot.
To good neighbors.
he's just obviously spamming trains at stations everywhere at this point. Which is fine, because I'm just going to spam, my money at his stocks. There we go.
I wanted that, but go ahead. There will surely be another opportunity.
So just 1.5 million left to merge him at this point. That's lovely. Now I'm wondering, can I squeeze in? I can, but not in the orientation I wanted. Never mind. What I am tempted to try is, and I'll do it now, deleting that section there and making it more direct. Oh, it's still a heavy incline change. Well, we're gonna have to do it. Can't not have the track there, can we? There we go. Maybe, does that change its elevation much at all? So is it, I can't remember what it was, but I think looking at it, no, it's made it worse. Good work. I think instead, get rid of that. And that one. Let the train pass by Rock Island. Get rid of that big stretch. And that big stretch. And just go direct. That's 8%, so that's across that entire run, there's an 8% gradient. That's better, I think. So let's bring him into play. Need 1.9 million. What? Wait. Ah, okay. Tell you what, let's try that again. I don't understand why it isn't going to let me do that. Surely that should be parallel track, right? Tell you what, scrap it again, I'll try from the other side. There we go. That was a little bit odd. Just pad it out with some signals. Replace the two supply towers. Let's take a look at the train. Clone it. I see he's hitting 42 miles per hour. Okay. That's why we're not getting the record. It's a shame that when you take over a company you don't inherit their research. I don't see why you shouldn't, to be fair, but you don't. So what did he get with that 41 miles per hour, was it, I think? So 30, and that was with the dragon, wasn't it?
Just look at this fancy new valve timer. Magnificent.
So I'm gonna edit him. In fact, both of them. Still short, still short. Although he's pushing 38. See, this is where he slows, although it's a lot better now. It's only an 8% incline. Still hovering around 36. See, he's just pushed 40 on the way back down. So I'm hoping when he comes back down on the return leg, he should exceed 40 because he's got higher speed from the two members of staff he's got on board. So let's just have a look and see what happens here. Here we go. 37. 48, 45. Wow. Why is that not giving me the record? Last I checked, 45 was greater than 42. Who knows? What I do know is he's now out of business.
This backward-looking market simply wasn't ready for my spectacular genius.
Okay, let's see who's the best engineer available. Ooh, 9% increase in speed. So that's that. Another 9% increase in speed. Let's have a look at the stokers. So these are on repair times. So 8% increase in speed, 8%. The conductors don't, and the security ones don't affect your speed, so okay. So let's now return to him. If we put him on, and then in his place we put, oh no, they are both 8%, so that's fine. 9%, I think that's the highest. Yes. But that does mean we can put them onto this train. So 9% and 8%. Now who does he get along with? Doesn't say. Moody. Maybe I have to actually look in the personnel. Are these just ones so he was, oh God's sake. No! Jesus. Oh, well, I look like an idiot now, don't I? What I'm thinking is there... Yes. So, what I want to do is get Ian Nelson... In fact, no, it doesn't make it... No, that's fine. So... Let's get that train. Yes, okay, we hit the express requirement. Okay, so now our company value is 40 million, so what I'm going to do now is buy things. So it was just under 40 million, was it? So it's pushed over 41. That's now that. So we'll buy this for 2.7 when we get the money. So that's pushed us to 45 million in such a short space. Okay, keep dropping. No, 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 not that way. Jesus, not that way. Let's have a look. Has he come down a bit? To go back up again. Okay, it's fluctuating, that's fine. I suppose that's always to be expected. No. Nothing there that's really big or profitable. Nothing there. We'll get the sawmills next. Thank you. So let's see, so that's 48 million. Still want to get that. So we just have to wait for the money to build up for that, I think. Yeah. I think what I'll do here, guys, is this end sprint to get to 200 million is probably going to be pretty dull to watch, so I'm just going to cut the commentary here at this point. I'll accelerate the video in post-production, and then obviously we'll bring it back in just as we're about to hit our final goal, hopefully, and then see what score we get. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay folks, so what I'm doing now, well, what I was doing at this point, is just going through my network, using the trick of paying off existing bonds to allow me to issue higher value bonds. With the money that raises, I was either upgrading my trains, adding extra trains to lines, or attempting to upgrade any industries that I already possessed and the stations linked to them to allow the trains to be loaded a little bit faster. And on top of that, I also went through and looked for the most profitable industries, the ones, you know, what would add most to our company value, and then pick them up as well in auction. Now, the good thing, you know, the handy thing here is using the trickster character, you get that 20% reduction at of auction prices. So I was, you know, saving money, and you know, she's a perfect character if you plan to have a large industry, like a large industry base that you've picked up through auctions, because you're getting 20% cheaper. And when you're pushing millions of dollars for an industry, if it's like level 4 or even level 5, then obviously 20% saving on that is a big saving, so it's definitely worth doing. So that's why I like to use a trickster for that reason, because with these industries you can make a heck of a lot of money. Obviously that money you then pump back into your network, you add new lines, you upgrade your newly minted industries, you change your trains out, whatever you want to do. So basically everything I'm doing here is geared towards increasing the company value as much as possible. If you remember the target, the scenario goal was to have a company value of just in excess of $200 million. Now, in all the missions that I've done so far in this game, I've never come close to that. I've got to like maybe, I want to say off the top of my head, maybe 60 million, 70 million. So, obviously I was doubling, and then some, my previous records. Now, because everything else had been completed at this point, all the side objectives were done, there was no competitors left to worry about, I'd hit all the other targets, I could just focus primarily and solely on building the company value to as to as much as possible. Now, in the end, we'd managed to get it with some decent amount of time to spare as well. Now, what I'm doing here with these track adjustments and these platform changes is I'm cycling through the list of trains going into that station, and I'm assigning each one to a different platform. So the next one in the if they're queued up, the one at the front of the queue will go to platform 1, the one behind it will go to platform 2, the one behind that platform 3, the one behind that platform 4, and then back to platform 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep cycling through in that order. Now, because these are point-to-point tracks and there's no other lines merging in, there's nowhere for the trains to go out of sync, so to speak. They're on a closed circuit almost. That order is never going to get messed up. So my thinking here, doing all that, was that these trains, instead of being backed up at signals, waiting for other trains to come out of the station or to get loaded or to get repaired, they could use one of the other 3 available platforms. Obviously, this speeds your throughput. The more throughput you've got, the more money you're making. Obviously, this is going to add to the company value. So that's one of the things I was looking at doing. It only really works perfectly if it's on a closed system. Excuse me. You have to bear with me there. Yeah, if it's on a closed track where there's no outside interference, such as, like I said, branching off to other lines or other trains coming in and then coming off, because that could throw it all out of sync. So I was only doing this on the closed lines, the ones where there's nothing coming to knock them all out of order, so to speak. Because if they get knocked out of order, instead of having it go in platform 1, then the next one platform 2, platform 3, and so on, you could have 2 turn up, both destined for platform 2, and then the next one could be for platform 4, then platform 2 again, because they've gone out of sync because other trains have come in, or they've had to wait, or they've been overtaken, or whatever. So it's a good, if you get a busy, if you're starting to get backlogs, and you've got the money to then again, it doesn't even cost that much, just a couple extra meters of track from, to link up the other 4 platforms. So it's a cheap thing to do, and it does make a difference. Your throughput is greatly increased, rather than having a backlog of trains stretching back for miles on your network, waiting. Obviously, this is starving your cities of the resources that they need. If your cities haven't got the resources they need, they're not growing, your industries are making less money. There's all these different knock-on effects from this, so it is something I'm going to start doing more often. Now, another thing I did, and you may have seen me looking at warehouses, is a lot of these cities with, say, a textile industry in them. Obviously, the textiles they produce, if they're not being shipped to a nearby city with a clothing factory, then it's just building up in that city's warehouse where it's being produced, and once the warehouse gets full, inside the station, the inbuilt one, so to speak, your factory shuts down because there's no more room for its output. So what I started to do is put in a load of new warehouses near some certain cities, have them accept these goods, so they could be shipped out by train. Obviously, we're not going to make money on them. They're only going to a warehouse, to an extra holding point, if it were. But that means the industry is then free to start producing more, because you've freed up that space on the train station's internal warehouse space, if you follow me. So this means obviously your companies are making profit again. Your trains, what are ferrying your resources, there, there's higher demand there, so there's less delays at the farms, or the raw materials station. They're straight in and out. Obviously the 4 platforms helps with this as well, because you could have several trains being loaded at once. Plus with a 4 platform station, the loading time is a lot quicker than it is with a small station or even a medium one. So it's, it all builds up together, and the end result is you make more money. So yeah, this is basically what I was doing for, I think this went on for about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Because there was no pressure now, I had plenty of time to do it. There was no competitors getting in the way. There was nothing else I had to worry about. That's why I decided to cut the video, speed this section up, do a bit of post commentary just to outline what I'm actually doing, rather than make you sit and watch 40 minutes of basic micromanagement, which some people enjoy. I mean, I enjoyed the process, but I don't know, I didn't think it to be interesting viewing. So this is why I've taken this route of cutting, speeding up, and doing a bit of post commentary. Now I have tried to talk about as much of what I did that I can remember, so people are aware of what I did. So on the off chance that maybe somebody's looking for a way to make a bit of money in this game, or there's a big company value target like I had that they struggled to reach and they're looking for a few tips, maybe this will help. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert at this game, or I wouldn't even say I'm a very good player at this game. I mean, I've seen people who are able to get president rating on almost all the scenarios, all the campaigns, and they do it without any dramas or any real hardships. Obviously I've got a few president ratings, but as you've seen, I also get a few like conductor or engineer or train managers. So, while I'm fairly okay, I can complete most of the missions, and those that I don't complete, I have a good idea where I went wrong, and I do revisit them and try them again, adjust my approach and tactics, and yeah, I might not get a very high score when I complete it, but I do complete it. But anyway, that's just me digressing, just trying to fill the time here. Now, when this was all said and done, I think most of the industries that I owned were perhaps level 4, level 5. Obviously that depends on the city size. So it cost me a lot of money. I was, but at this point I was making so much money, I was struggling to spend it almost. You can just about see there, I'm usually between 1 and 2 million, sometimes a little higher, sometimes a little less, but I was thereabouts. Here I'm just doing the warehouse trick again, to ship some of the textiles out to free up the industries. And I think at this point we're pretty much there now, so I'll prepare to just return to normal speed round about now. And what I will do is I'll pass off to original recording me to have a look at the score and see how we did. Okay, so that's it, we're finished. Took a while to get to that 200 million company value, but we got there in the end through some prompting of our industries to grow and expand, and other little bits and pieces to help turn profits. So let's see how we did in terms of score. CEO, not bad at all, just 0.6 away from president. Yeah, I thought it was quite good for a... Yeah, I'm pleased with that actually. It was the tasks were rated as hard, or pro I should say. Obviously would have been, this was the big one, 201 million. We got there comfortably in the end with 10 years to spare. But yes. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I think I'll do a few more of those. There's a different feel to it than there is from the scenarios. Obviously in both of them you are working towards set goals, but I don't know, I can't explain it, but it does feel different. So yes, thanks for watching. I shall see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, guys.